the Arabic Reader series. Inshallah, this is Unit 1. This reader was actually written for the DREAM program. And the objective of this reader is to eventually get students to reading like tafsirs, reading any Arabic books. You can even read like journals, newspapers, fiqh books, whatever you want, you can inshallah read once you get through this reader. It consists of about 60 lessons, and there are 20 lessons in each unit.
Okay.
The reader was actually written for the DREAM program, like I said, and alhamdulillah, it went great this past year. And I get students emailing me like, I just read this book, or I just read this tafsir, or I've conducted a halaqah and I've been using one of the tafsirs that we read in DREAM, and that was all because we had actually gone through this reader at first. So this is a very important text, alhamdulillah, at the DREAM program, and now we want to bring it to the rest of our audience across the world through Bayna TV, inshallah. And so those of you that have completed Arabic with Husna, the Access program, or Quran Intensive, or any other Arabic grammar resource, if you've completed that syllabus, that curriculum, then inshallah this is a good way for you to start being able to read Arabic without the harakat. There's the main objectives of inshallah this series is, number one is reading fluency, so being able to read without having to stop or stutter, or being able to understand it as soon as you read it. That's the first objective. The second objective is translation, so learning how to translate the Arabic into English. We find that when, inshallah, once we finish, imagine that you want to teach a halaqah, or you want to teach something, or you want to even read something to a friend or a classmate, or you want to share it with them, then it's really important that you're able to take that Arabic and translate it into English. That's a skill in and of itself, inshallah. So we'll be focusing on that, because sometimes you won't be translating literally, you'll be translating the meaning of something, Okay. So that's the second objective. And the third objective of this is, inshallah, more application of the grammar that you've learned previously. So you are an Access graduate, so all that grammar you learned in Access program, inshallah, will come in handy here. And I know you will have forgotten some things, and that's good. I want you to be a little rusty, because I want us to review. I want us to make sure that we remind ourselves of all the different things that we've learned previously.
Great.
So it's going to be a good cumulative review of everything you've done, inshallah.
Awesome, inshallah.
I think that's it for the introduction, so we'll just get started. The way we're going to do this, inshallah, is we have, like I said, we have 60 lessons or 60 chapters in this book, and for each chapter, we're going to go over the vocabulary first, and then we will go over the actual lesson itself. When we're going over the lesson, there's going to be, and I'll repeat this again, inshallah, that we're going to go through the lesson 3 times. So first I'm going to read it, you're going to repeat after me, then you're going to read it to me, and we'll explain the grammar, we'll discuss the grammar of the sentence, and we'll work through the translation of the sentence as well. The translation is provided, but I'm going to cover it just for learning purposes. But you can always use it to aid you. Once you're at home, once you want to review or whatever it is, you have that translation available to help you out, inshallah. And then the third time we go through it, I will have you read without me interrupting about grammar. Just if you read it incorrectly, then I'll just correct you, just for the sake of the recording, inshallah, and also to correct your mistakes. And so you should be ready to make mistakes. I know we talked about this earlier. Be ready to make mistakes. You don't have to get it right the first time. Because we're all here to learn. We're all here as students, so we shouldn't be afraid of making mistakes, inshallah. That's how we're going to learn, inshallah. So I remember there was a scholar, Mujahid, a great scholar of the Tabi'een, who were those who succeeded the Sahaba. And so he said that there's three types of people that do not learn.
Mhm.
There's three types of people that don't learn. Number one are those who are lazy, because they want to learn, they have that, but they're just not making time for it. They're getting distracted. So that's number one. Number two, he said the people that are arrogant. So the people that feel like, okay, you know what, I already know this, or what can this person teach me? That's the arrogant people. You know, and actually it's part of arrogance when you have a question but you don't want to ask it. You know, that happens a lot of times to students, where they don't want to ask it because they feel like if they ask the question, then everyone, their peers, their teacher will know that they don't know the answer.
Right.
And so that's actually a part of arrogance, even though it seems like it's shyness. And then the third one, Mujahid said, the third person who will find it difficult to learn is the person who is shy. So they have the question, but they're embarrassed to ask. And like I said, that's kind of related to the previous point of arrogance. So we don't want that in our hearts. We ask Allah to protect us from that. So any question you have, ask it. Ask away, inshallah. You know, be free with making mistakes.
Right.
I remember that if you want to learn any language, right? If you want to learn any language, then you can't be embarrassed. Like, you have to put yourself out there. You have to talk. You have to be willing for people to make fun of you or to laugh at you, and really laugh with you. You know that you made such a mistake, such a foolish mistake, and you have to get comfortable with that if you want to learn a language.
Absolutely.
I remember that when I was in France, and so we had different programs at the school. So we had the Hifth program, we had the Sharia college, and we had the Arabic program. So there was a student who joined the Hifth program. There was two students, they had both joined the Hifth program. Okay. Now the college that I went to, the school, it was an Arabic immersion program. So everyone spoke Arabic.
I see.
The Arabic students spoke Arabic, the Sharia students spoke Arabic, the teachers spoke Arabic. The guy in the dormitory, the RA, he spoke Arabic. Lunch was served to you in Arabic. Salah, the khatiras were in Arabic. Everything was in Arabic. Sometimes you'd hear people speaking French here and there, or the Turkish guy speaking a little Turkish or English. But generally, the atmosphere was Arabic immersion. Alhamdulillah. So anyway, so I had we had two friends that were in the Hifz program, and one of them, he would just hang out with his buddies from his country, and so he did Hifz, but he didn't end up learning a whole lot of Arabic. And the other brother, this guy, I mean, I used to watch him, and he used to just be fearless. He would just speak Arabic, even though he wasn't in the Arabic program, but he would just pick it up from other people. And by the end of the year, he was speaking fluently, even though he wasn't even in the Arabic program.
That's amazing.
And that all had to do with his kind of this fearlessness, or this ability to just, hey, I'm going to make mistakes, I'm going to be corrected, and that's how I'm going to learn. That's how I'm going to move forward.
Great.
So keep that in mind, inshallah. And I had to do the same thing when I wanted to learn how to speak Arabic, especially. So getting over that. Khair, we're going to have some modules about speaking, but that's not this one. We're going to focus mainly on reading, inshallah.
Okay. Inshallah.
But still the same principles go for reading.
Got it.
Khair. So like I said, we have 60 lessons. This is chapter 1.
Okay.
It says here, Al-Babul Awwal, and that means the first chapter.
Okay.
Bab usually means door.
Okay.
But it's also used for chapter. Okay, as if it's like a lesson that you're opening yourself to, almost.
I see.
It's like a door to knowledge. Exactly.
Okay.
Awesome. So that's exactly what it is. So Al-Bab Al-Awwal, chapter 1. So here we have the vocabulary. Ustad, Ustad, like Ustad Nu'man Ali Khan. And the plural is Asatidatu.
Asatidatu. Okay.
Why is it, I'm going to ask you a question here. Why do you think this is one dhamma instead of double dhamma? Like, so Ustadun is tanween, and whereas this is one.
Is that because it is a broken plural?
It's because it is a broken plural. Very good. What else? Because, for example, rijalun is a broken plural, right?
Right.
So rajulun means a man, and rijalun means multiple men.
Yes.
It has a tanween at the end, rijalun.
Right.
Whereas this is asatidatu. It's light.
It's light.
Why is it light? So remember that you have four different things that are light. You have, number one, you have words that are mudaf. Right?
You have words that...
number two, you have words that come with ya. So like ya Muhammadu.
Okay.
Number three, you have categorical negation. So la ilaha illallah, right?
Right.
And then number 4,
Partly flexible.
partly flexible. Very good. So with partly flexible, these words will also be light. So
Right.
asatidatu is light because it is
Partly
partly
flexible.
flexible. Now, why is it partly flexible? It follows a certain pattern. Okay, so this pattern, asatidatu, it's kind of like, if you remember the plural of masjid,
Masajid.
masajidu.
Yeah.
It's like that. We've added a ta marbuta. Masajidatu, masajidu. It's kind of the same pattern, or it is the same pattern as
Okay.
that. We just added the ta marbuta, and that's okay. So that's why that's partly flexible. Okay, anyway, then we have man. Man means who. That's a very oft-used word in Quran and in Arabic in general. Then you have ya, which is what you use to call someone. Ya Muhammad, ya akhi, you know. The next word we have is akhun, which means brother. Ukhtun, sister. So when you say ya akhi, my brother, ya ukhti, my sister, ya akhi fil Islam, oh my brother in Islam.
Okay.
Or when you introduce people, a lot of times they'll say, Assalamu alaikum, akhukum fil Islami Adam. So I'm your brother in Islam, or akhukum fillah Adam. I'm your brother for the sake of Allah. My name's Adam. Ana ukhtukum fillah, Fatima or Zainab or whatever. So ukht is sister. Hal is a questioning word. Na'am, yes, and la is no. So those are the new words. These are more simple, but we'll get obviously to more complex words as we move along.
Okay.
Sorry. All right. So this is the first chapter. Let's start here, inshallah, Mansoor. Let me just zoom in here. I'm covering the translation for you.
Okay.
This is, for our benefit, inshallah. The way I'm going to read this, the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to read this now, right now.
Okay.
Inshallah, I'm going to read this, and then after that, I want you to repeat after me, inshallah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Al-Ustadhu Bilalun.
Al-Ustadhu Bilalun.
Good. Okay. Ana al-Ustadhu Bilalun.
أنا الأستاذ بلال.
Man anta ya akhi.
من أنت يا أخي.
And I want those of you that are at home watching, I want you to be repeating along with us, inshallah. Arijun.
عارج.
Ana arijun.
أنا عارج.
Very good. Al-Ustadhu Bilalun.
الأستاذ بلال.
Waman anti ya ukhti.
ومن أنت يا أختي.
Very good. Waman anti ya ukhti.
ومن أنت يا أختي.
Fatimatu.
فاطمة.
Ana Fatimatu.
أنا فاطمة.
Al-Ustadhu Bilalun.
الأستاذ بلال.
Very good. ومن هذا يا عارج.
ومن هذا يا عارج.
هذا مالك.
هذا مالك.
Very good. So we're going to finish reading this and then we'll go back and explain the grammar, inshallah.
Okay.
Al-Ustadhu Bilalun.
الأستاذ بلال.
ومن هذه يا فاطمة.
ومن هذه يا فاطمة.
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 هذه رقية.
هذه رقية.
Excellent. الأستاذ بلال.
الأستاذ بلال.
هل أنت عبد الله؟
هل أنت عبد الله؟
Excellent. عبد الله.
عبد الله.
نعم.
نعم.
أنا عبد الله.
أنا عبد الله.
Very good. الأستاذ بلال.
الأستاذ بلال.
وهل أنت آمنة؟
وهل أنت آمنة؟
وهل أنت آمنة؟
وهل أنت آمنة؟
Very good. زينب.
زينب.
لا.
لا.
أنا زينب.
أنا زينب.
Very good. Now, as you'll notice, I put the harakat on the names. Now, usually when you're speaking Arabic, you don't usually put the harakat on the names. You'll just say Bilal, Arij, Fatima, Zainab. You don't usually put those harakat on the end.
Okay.
But for learning purposes, I really want to put them on there so that we get used to it, inshallah. And that'll also put into practice some of the grammar rules we learned regarding names. Which ones are fully flexible and which ones are partly flexible. Okay? So, Al-Ustadhu Bilalun. So, why is this, or what's the relationship between Al-Ustadh and Bilalun? I guess that's the question here. If we look at them, they match in 4 properties. So, what is it? Kind of remind us of.
موصوف صفة.
موصوف صفة, exactly. Al-Ustadhu Bilalun, so Ustadh Bilal or Professor Bilal, however you want to translate it. Ustadh Bilal. He's speaking and he's going to say, I want you to read from here on out. So
Okay.
go ahead.
أنا الأستاذ بلال.
Excellent. So, أنا الأستاذ بلال. Now, I want to take a second just to understand what's going on here. When I want to translate this, I need to understand the grammar of it, right? So, how am I going to understand the grammar? What is أنا? What is al-Ustad? What is Bilalun?
It would translate as I am.
Before you translate it, let's go through the grammar.
Oh,
Let's go through the
grammar
grammar, yeah.
Okay, so أنا would be the mubtada.
Very good. So, on a macro level, أنا is my mubtada. Very good.
And أستاذ بلال would be the khabar.
Right, so you combine this mawsuf sifa, right?
Right.
So this, you kind of combine this mawsuf sifa, and you said that this is your khabar. Excellent. Now, where am I going to put my invisible is?
Between the mubtada and the khabar.
Between the
Ana
mubtada and the khabar. And if you think back to the different hints or tips that we usually give about the invisible is, it usually comes after the pronoun, right? So if you find a damir munfasil or a detached pronoun at the beginning here, then the invisible is will come right after it. So that's where we're gonna put our invisible is.
Right.
Okay. So now if I want to translate it, ana means I, al-ustadu Bilalun, Professor Bilal. So we're gonna put the is in the middle. So how are we gonna translate that?
I am
I
Ustad
am
Bilal.
Ustad Bilal. I am Professor Bilal. Excellent.
Bilal.
Awesome. Okay. What about this part now? We find this word. How do I read that word?
Man.
Okay, good. Man. Now, how do I know that's not min?
Because it's followed by a pronoun and the word after is not in.
Okay, excellent. Awesome. So min, you have these two words. You have min and you have man, right? And a lot of times people get confused which one is going to be min and which one is man. A good way to figure out that this is man is because of this question mark here. See that question mark? That question mark at the end of the sentence tells me that I have a questioning word here.
Okay.
And min being what kind of harf?
Harf jar.
Harf jar, very good. It does not act as a questioning word.
Right.
Man does, right? A lot of this stuff, it'll come together more and more as we move along. But for now, just remember that man is a questioning word. So sentences like this will usually start with man and they won't be min. And another way to notice is that a harf jar will usually be attached to a pronoun.
Right.
So you won't find min anta,
Right.
because anta is a detached pronoun. Remember you learned those two pronoun charts?
Yes.
Ka, kuma, kum, ki, kuma, kunna. Then, or I skipped the first part of it. Hu, huma, hum, ha, huma, hunna, ka, kuma, kum, ki, kuma, kunna. And the attached pronouns or the detached pronouns are huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna. So you won't have min with anta. Rather, you will have min with an attached pronoun.
Okay.
Like ka, kuma, kum, ki, kuma, kunna.
Okay.
Right? So those are two ways in which you can understand how to use min and man, or how to differentiate between min and man. Okay, great. Let's keep going, inshallah. So go ahead and read the rest of that line.
Man anta ya akhi.
Very good. Man anta ya akhi. Excellent. Let's keep going.
Ana aarijun.
Excellent. Yeah, you don't need to always read these names because we don't actually even have them in the book all the time.
Okay.
We only have them sometimes where they're really needed. So the first lesson we had them, just to make sure people realize it's a dialogue. But good, you're going to read aarijun. It's fully flexible. You're going to read it normally with two dhamma, with dhammatain. Very good. Keep going.
Waman anti ya ukhti.
Very good. Waman anti ya ukhti. Excellent. So how did you know again that this man is not min?
Same as above, because it's
Same as above.
detached.
Detached pronoun as well as the question.
Question
The
mark.
question's even easier, right? You just look for the question mark and you know it's going to be man. Or the word right after it is the detached pronoun, so that makes it pretty easy. Excellent. Okay, let's continue.
Ana Fatimatu.
Okay, good. Ana Fatimatu. Now, what's my mubtada and what's my khabar for Ana Fatimatu?
Ana is the mubtada and Fatimatu is the
That's
khabar.
pretty simple, right? Mubtada and khabar. We're just doing that for some simple practice, inshallah, just to review a little bit. All right, next line.
Waman hadha ya aariju.
Good. Now, in this case, we don't have a pronoun after it, so we're not sure. Is it min hada or is it man hada? What will help me?
Question mark.
A question mark, exactly. So the question mark helps me identify this as
Man.
man. So we use these tips and tricks to kind of figure out what the text is, and that helps us read it correctly.
Okay.
Okay. Arij.
هذا مالك.
Very good. So this is the name Malik, like Imam Malik. لا يفتى في المدينة ومالك موجود. You know, when Imam Malik was in Medina, he was not allowed to give fatwa. So هذا Malik. Although I don't think this is Imam Malik, this is just Malik, a student. Okay.
ومن هذه يا فاطمة.
Okay. ومن هذه يا فاطمة. Very good. Again, is this man or min?
من.
Man. Very good. من هذه يا فاطمة. Okay. Excellent.
هذه رقية.
Very good. هذه رقية. Excellent.
هل أنت عبد الله.
Very good. هل أنت عبد الله. What is هل?
It is a harf and it forms a question.
Very good. So it's حرف استفهام, we call it.
استفهام.
حرف استفهام. Okay. حرف استفهام. حرف استفهام. And حرف استفهام means a questioning word. Very good. هل أنت عبد الله? Are you Abdullah? Abdullah says,
نعم أنا عبد الله.
نعم أنا عبد الله. وهل أنت آمنة?
وهل
Oh,
أنت
you're reading. Sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
وهل أنت آمنة؟ لا أنا زينب.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, good, great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to erase everything, and then I'm going to have you, inshallah, read.
Okay.
Okay. Just erase all this. All right. So now we're going to start from a fresh page. Now I want you to read. Again, it's okay if you make a mistake.
Mhm.
It's not a test, but this is to develop your practice. So now
Okay.
it's as if if someone's using crutches and they need to rehabilitate himself to be able to walk again,
Right.
they need to start walking slowly without those crutches. So I've removed those markers for you, so you can try to read it, inshallah. If you make any mistakes, I'll correct you and I'll explain it again if need be. This time around, I want you to translate as well.
Okay.
So try your best to translate it as best as you can
Okay.
now that we've gone through the grammar. So go ahead.
Okay. أنا الأستاذ بلال. من أنت يا أخي.
Very good.
I am Professor Bilal. Who are you, my brother?
Very good. Right. So some people, they translate this as "oh, my brother," which is fine, but you don't really need to say "oh" because in normal English we don't really use "oh."
Okay.
You don't say "oh, Ibrahim" or "oh, Mustafa." I don't do that. "Oh, Najib." I don't do that.
So it kind of becomes understood.
Yeah, it's just understood that you're saying, "Who are you, my brother or brother?" Mm-hmm.
أنا عارج. I am عارج.
Very good.
ومن أنت يا أختي.
Okay, very good. So this is an important one. Ukht is feminine.
Right.
This is a common mistake people have where they say anta to a sister, but you want to say anti to a sister. You don't want to say anta to a sister.
Who are you, my sister?
Very good.
أنا فاطمة. I am Fatima.
Very good.
ومن هذا يا عارج. And who is this? يا أو عارج. Or who is this عارج?
Yeah, Arij, who is this?
عارج, who is this?
Mm-hmm.
هذا مالك. هذا مالك. This is
Excellent.
Malik.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Very good. Mm-hmm.
ومن هذه يا فاطمة. And who is this Fatima? هذه رقية. This is رقية.
Very good. So we made Fatima light. Why did we make Fatima light?
Because it's followed after the ya.
Well, yeah, the ya is there, so it's going to be light no matter what.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Why did we make Ruqayya too light?
Because that is partly flexible.
Very good. Because Ruqayya is partly flexible because it's a feminine name. Right. So all feminine names automatically will be partly flexible. Excellent.
هل أنت عبد الله? Are you عبد الله? نعم أنا عبد الله. Yes, I am عبد الله. وهل أنت آمنة? And are you آمنة? لا أنا زينب. No, I am Zainab.
Excellent. Excellent. One thing about this wow
Mhm.
is this wow, you don't always need to translate it. If it's acting as an atf wow or harfu atf, which means, for example, I say Muhammadun wa Ibrahim. right? If I say like,
Connecting.
if I'm connecting two words like this,
Okay.
right? Wa Ibrahimu, and the waw is connecting, then I say Muhammad and Ibrahim. But another type of waw, so this is harfu atf.
Okay.
This is harfu atf, right? Ain, ta, fa. You have another waw which is called isti'naf. You might have learned this, I don't know, in Access.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that a little bit?
The one that starts with your sentence.
Yeah, so isti'naf is a waw that starts a sentence. And you don't need to always translate that waw. In this case, that's the waw that starts the sentence because it's not really connected to Abdullah. He's just asking, what about you? Are you Amina?
Okay. So here it's this new sentence. Wow.
Yeah, it's the harfu istinaf.
Istinaf.
New sentence wow. Okay, so istinaf. New sentence. Exactly. Okay, very good. All right, awesome. Finish the rest?
لا أنا زينب.
Okay, good. So Aminatu and Zainabu are also partly flexible
Feminine language.
because they're feminine. Excellent. That was great. Okay, alhamdulillah. Any questions?
No, I think I'm good.
Think you're good on this? It was pretty simple, alhamdulillah.
A lot of revision of concepts.
Yeah, it's a lot of revision of different concepts that we've covered in the past in the grammar. So great. That's lesson 1. I look forward to lesson 2, inshallah.
Jazakallah.
Jazakallah.